It's not always known or obvious, but Churches of Christ began as a unity movement. Known more predominantly as a restoration movement, restoration was originally seen as a means to an end. Restoration would produce unity, and unity would usher in the kingdom of God on earth. This restoration was a restoration of the New Testament norms and practices, a restoration of the ancient order. It was not about new denominations and structures, but about the church on earth being one, just as Jesus prayed for his disciples and those who would follow after them in Gethsemane, as John records in chapter 17. This oneness was a pattern modelled in and flowing from the Godhead. Founded under certain cultural conditions in the early American Republic, the DNA of this group of disciples moving to and from several other global locations likewise caught fire in Australia. The 20th century saw significant evangelism by these Churches of Christ pioneering men and women. Into the 21st century, a crisis became evident. We'd lost sight of our identity. Old forms persisted, but the who and the why were not easily discerned, leading to a sense of being stuck. The church is facing a new season. She always is. And in this cultural moment, we are moving to the margins of our communities after having enjoyed a central place in culture. We are facing a decline. We're even facing a kind of death. Not the kind to produce fear, panic, or hopelessness, but the kind that leads to renewal. There is hope, but we must face this reality. In fact, we must name it. All churches and denominations are facing this. And perhaps in so doing, the spark that began this network of churches is about to be fanned into flame. The time for competing against each other is over, and the need for the unity of the church is paramount. We need each other, and we know it in new ways, and we will know it in deeper ways still before this decade is finished. More than ever, the world needs to see this witness to the bride of Christ, and so we come humbly, not assuming our right to exist, but seeking God for what he would have for this part of his eternal church. As a network, we're locally governed, diverse in expression, affiliated for purpose, and united through our ethos in and under the authority of the Logos. It is the Logos that precedes our ethos. And from our shared history and our shared voices, these following images have emerged. It's something that attempts to name our culture, our ways of being together for this time and place. It's our ethos, and this is what we are for. It's a living thing. Our ethos consists of 7 distinctions, and not one of them unique to Churches of Christ, and not one of them more important than the other. It's their combination that is powerful, that shapes our presence, purpose, and horizon. As we think generationally to the future horizon, we hope this work will continue to be refreshed by those that follow as frequently as the times and the context necessitate. And all of this for the glory of God and the good of all.